something really exciting to talk about. We're gonna go through some productivity hacks, some things to really help you get moving in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Because beating procrastination can be really hard. I don't know if you've ever experienced this. I know I have, where you're determined, you're like, okay, I've made this decision, I'm going to do this thing, I've got this new habit, and you get going, you do it for a few days, and then life gets in the way. Something happens, inevitably, right? And we sort of then end up back into our old habits. We sort of revert back to where we were before we started. It's human nature. And so it's really helpful if we have some little hacks that can help us sort of get past these humps so that that doesn't happen. Or if it does happen, to then just get back right back on track. So that's what we're going to talk about today. 7 simple hacks to help you beat that procrastination. But before we get into that, of course, I just want to introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. My name is Nancy Brooker. I am a relationship and stress coach. I help women who are stuck in a challenging relationship, whether that is with a family member, a partner, a spouse, a child, a coworker, especially with yourself, your own body, whatever that is, to really become clear about what is making you feel stuck, what that sticky point is, how to bring more clarity around that, more connection, more joy into your life, into your relationships, so you can experience them with more joy and ease. So, on to our procrastination hacks. Hack number 1. And this is, I think I'll talk about this all the time, is just pick something small. I think one of the biggest reasons we procrastinate is because we set these goals, these things that we want to get done, and they're so big, they're so huge, and they're overwhelming. And so it's really hard to get started because there's this big thing and it's looming over our heads and it feels like pressure. But when we chunk it down, when we make it smaller, when we break it down into manageable chunks, it's a lot easier to get moving. It's easier to just create momentum and take a little step, take some action, and start moving in the right direction, right? So very important. So if you have a big goal, chunk it down. Remember, every single time, slow and steady wins the race. It's always the case. Tip number 2, pick a time set a time, and just go. So this is a tip that I really love, and I've really found useful for me as I've started setting timers. Our phones have timers, or sometimes the watches have timers. Some people like those little Pomodoro. I don't know if you've ever seen those timers. Just set it for 25 minutes, and whatever that task is that you were going to do, set the timer and just focus for that 25 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever that is that works for you, that's going to help you get moving. I find this really useful myself. It just helps you sort of chip away at anything, it doesn't matter what that goal is, it'll work for anything. It works for everything from cleaning out your closet, cleaning out your garage, to exercising, to writing a blog, or whatever it is that you are wanting to do. Just carving out that little time, setting that timer. And I actually carve the time out on my calendar, so that it's at the same time every week. And so I've kind of come to know that that's my time to do certain things, right? For example, creating my content for my blogs, that sort of thing. I find that really useful, and I know a lot of people do. So there's another option. Tip number 3, it's okay to bribe yourself. It's okay to say, well, hey, if I can get ABC done, then I get this thing at the end of it. It doesn't have to be a great big thing. It's not like you have to go to Hawaii as the reward, although that's a good one for a big goal. It could just be a little thing. It could be getting up and going and watching your favorite show, getting up and dancing around the kitchen to your favorite song. It could be getting a cup of tea. It could be going for a walk. It could be calling a friend. Whatever that little reward is that is going to make you feel good and going to acknowledge the work that you put in, great to do that. So keep reminding yourself at the end of the day of whatever your prize was, during the day, so that you really look forward to it. Or maybe it's something that you insert during the day, however that works for you. But it's okay to bribe yourself. So number 4, find an accountability partner. I think this one is huge. And again, this is one that I do myself as well. So find someone else who's trying to beat procrastination. Find someone else who's trying to get something done. And it doesn't even have to be the same thing that you're working on. It could be something similar or just something that has a time frame around it. So I actually co-work every week with my accountability partner. We're not working on the same thing. We're both working on content creation, but it's not really related. Our work isn't related to each other. We just have become, we are accountability partners. We're accountable to each other to show up at a certain time and to get that stuff done. So that works really well. Knowing that there's somebody there that you're accountable to really nudges you into action. And that's really the important thing, is what's going to get you into action? What's going to get you starting to move towards whatever it is that you want? So tip number 5, measure your progress. And again, this is going to be important no matter what kind of goal it is that you have. But a great example is, of course, a weight goal. However you've set it up, that's why goals are, we talked about SMART goals, making sure they're measurable. That's why it's really great to make sure they're measurable, because then you can measure them and see how close, how far, whatever you are from it. If you've taken a big goal and you've chunked it down into a bunch of little ones, then you might have a list of little things that you need to get done. And I don't know about you, but I love checking things off a list. That always makes me feel really good. You might journal, you might have a chart or a spreadsheet. You might, if it's a weight goal, it might be a weigh-in, it might be photos, body measurements. Financial goals, again, are easy to measure. Even a relationship goal, if you've set some sort of goal for yourself to act in a certain way, to do a certain thing every day, you can journal about something like that. Or you can even just, on a Post-it note, you can make tick marks whenever you actually do it, so you can see that you're doing it and how often, that sort of thing. So make sure it's measurable, because it's really important to help motivate yourself, to keep yourself going. But at the same time, remember in the first week we talked about forgiving yourself if something happens and life happens and we don't always get to what we want to get to. So don't forget to be compassionate with yourself as well. Tip number 6, remember your big why. Why are you doing this in the first place? What is it about this thing that you want to do that is so important to you? And understanding your why is really so motivating. So if it is a finance goal, is it because you want to take a trip? Is it because you have a dream of visiting a certain place, and that it freedom and travel is something that's really important to you? That could be your big why. If it's a weight goal or something related to your body, might have something to do with your kids. Maybe you just want to get in better shape so that you can be active with your children. Maybe it's you haven't filed your taxes yet and you're due a refund. Well, that's a pretty motivating why. Or maybe it's a really big why. Maybe it's like a calling for you to share something that you've learned, to share an experience that you've had, to help other people get through that same experience, whatever that is. These are all really important. So great, when you're setting that SMART goal, it's always great to understand your why behind whatever your goal is too. And the last thing I want to say is really just start. There's that law of physics, right? An object in motion stays in motion, an object at rest stays at rest. So if you just start, just take that smallest little step, just do something you're an object in motion now, so at least you've got a little bit of traction, a little bit of momentum, and start using some of these other hacks to really get yourself going. Yeah, so that's it for me. Although, actually, one thing that I didn't mention that is a hack that, I didn't even call it a hack, but is using emotional freedom techniques, EFT tapping, to help overcome procrastination. Now, I just love this as an option. As you know, I'm a huge fan of tapping. I love to use it with my clients. Sometimes you really want to do something, but you just can't get started. It doesn't matter what you do, you can't get yourself started. You know what to do, you've broken it down, you know what the hacks are, but there's something still holding you back, and that's where the tapping just excels, because it really helps you identify what that thing is that's sort of keeping you stuck, and where did it start? What is going on in your body? What are the emotions that are coming up? And really helps you process that and get to a place where whatever that trigger is, it's not triggering you anymore. It's not stopping you. It's not keeping you stuck. So you can start to move forward. So if you could use some help moving through your mud, I would love to chat with you. Please give me a call. I would love to see you on my Facebook page, Living in Yes. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe below. Pick up one of the freebies that I've left down there for you. And don't forget to use these hacks, right? So pick something small, set a timer, and just start. Just go. Bribe yourself with something. Find an accountability partner. Figure out your big why. Measure your progress, and just do something. Just get started. So that's it for me for today, and next month we will be relationship with our body. We're going to be talking about all different kinds of things with food and our bodies. So I hope to see you then. Take good care.